Next I'm going to use the Close to Cocoa ink pad, and when you're using a blender pen you can use the ink pad. You just squeeze the ink pad in the middle so that you get a pool of colour, and then making sure that your pen is clean in the first place. The blender pens do stain, but as long as when you're drawing on your paper it comes off clear, you know that your pen is clean and ready to use for the next colour. To pick up your colour, you just scribble in the colour there, and you can just draw with it just as you would any other felt tip pen or brush marker, and you can add as much colour as you want or as little colour as you want. I'm not too worried about going over the edges of my images today because I'm going to be cutting them out in a minute. Okay, and then to clean your pen you just scribble on the paper, and when your pen is coming clean you know that there's no more colour left on it. I'm going to use the old olive now just for the leaves. I'm only going to do one and then I'm going to cut it out. I'll do the rest and I'll come right back to you. But I'm going to just colour the edges of the flower, the leaves, sorry, following the lines as I did on the image. Rather than colouring all of it, I'm just hinting at the colour. Okay, I'll do this one as well just to show you. So always following the lines that I've already drawn in the image. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish up this other flower and I'm going to trim them with my scissors, and I'll be right back. Hi, I'm back. I've cut out two flowers already. I'm just going to show you how I'm cutting them out. I'm using the Stampin' Up paper snips, which are really sharp, and they come with a guard so that you don't hurt yourself on the end of the scissors. They're really, really good. They're probably the sharpest scissors that I've used for a long time. The best way to cut out your images is to keep your scissors moving. You don't want to be doing this snip, 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 because you're going to get a bad edge. If you just slowly close your scissors and keep your image moving, you're going to get a much better effect and a cleaner line as you're cutting around your image. Obviously if you get to a point where you can't keep your scissors moving, then that's fine, but it takes a little bit of practice, but it is the best way to cut out your images. And depending on what you're doing, obviously if you're doing decoupage you're not going to want to have a white line around the outside of your image necessarily, but if you're just doing it to layer onto a card, and a small white border around your image can give it a really nice finished professional look. So you need to keep that in mind when you're doing it, and think about what purpose the image is going to have. Okay, this is the last bit of my flower. And there I've got 3 blossoms all ready to go. Now I'm going to use my bag. I only want 2 for this, for the front of the bag on this one. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to decide whereabouts I want them on the front of my bag. I think I might do something that looks a bit like that. I'm not sure, but I quite like that, so I'll put those on there. I'm just going to stick them on with some snail. You could use dimensionals if you wanted them to stand out. That would give a nice effect. I'm going to put the bottom one on first so that I can layer the other one over the top. Okay, just like that. Finished. What I want to do is I want to add some white scallop edging around the bottom. and I'm just going to use my scallop edge punch. As you can see with the scallop edge punch, you line up the scallops with the shiny scallops underneath, and it really is so easy to do. It gives you a lovely scalloped edge. I'm going to do it that way. And although I like it like that, I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to add some holes across the top. I'm going to use my crafter's toolkit for that. Just to give it a pretty edge. Now this is a piercing guide mat, and comes with a piece of foam and your piercing tool. You also get a hammer and some needles and lots of other bits in it. But this is my favourite tool out of our crafter's toolkit, and it's really easy to use. You just line up the lines on the front of your mat with your cardstock, and then you just pierce away. You can decide exactly how far apart your holes want to be, and you know that your holes will be the same distance all the way across your card because you're using the guide to help you. Okay, so I've just put some holes across the top. I'm also going to pop just a few round the bottom of my scallops. So I'm going to use the corner. If I hold that a little bit closer, you should be able to see it. Okay, it's just got a guide there, and I'm going to use the corner there just to follow the scallops round. I'm going to line that up with the scallop, and then I can put 3 holes in each scallop. Now I've finished my piece of cardstock to go on the front of my bag. I'll do that again for the back, but in the interest of time I'm just going to do the one to go on the front. Okay, and that just goes across the bottom of my bag. You see my holes there? Okay. I also want to make a tag to go on the front of my bag, and to do that I'm going to use the oval scallop punch. These I've already done one. I've got my pink ovals there, and I think I'm going to make this into a thank you gift. So my scrap piece of card that I've got left, I'm going to use the words "thanks so much" from the So Soft stamp set, and I'm going to stamp that in chocolate chip. On the bottom of my Whisper White cardstock, and I'm going to turn my punch upside down. I always use my punches upside down, mainly to make sure that I'm not missing a piece of card when I do it. So I'm holding my punch upside down. I'm just going to punch that out. I'm going to adhere it to the front of my oval. And then I'm going to need to punch a hole in the top of it just to put my ribbon through, so I'm going to use my crocodile as well. Just to put a hole on it. And I'm going to use a piece of chocolate chip ribbon just to tie it to the top of the bag. Here it is. I'm going to thread that through the hole. And just tie it onto my handles. And there I have my finished bag. Thanks for watching, and come back and join me for the matching card.